deal with an epic historical moment, but it brings the story through the eyes of three characters. I would like to know if this was something that attracted you about.
That was exactly one of the reasons why I liked it so much. I mean, when you're reading a script and you're going from a page description of thousands of men charging across, a destroyed city square with tanks and Messerschmitts and everything, and then by the next moment you're in a very intense, very emotional drama, as you said, involving one or two characters. I mean, I think that's what's the beauty of film, really. You've got the scale to show the world in all its glory, sometimes not all its glory, and then you've also got the intensity of drama, the possibility of creating great drama. I think also with a subject like this, it's sometimes hard, whilst you want to create the environment around them, the chaos, the kind of scale of war, it's sometimes hard to explain or to touch a human emotion, a human sort of nerve, if you concentrate purely on that scale. You can't always tell everyone's story. So to bring it down to one story or the journey of one or two people, sometimes I think makes it that bit more focused. Before we went to Germany to shoot, we all did a lot of reading and watching of films, documentaries on World War II, but specifically on Stalingrad and on the army, the Russian army at that time. And I did a lot of work on sniping, on snipers and what it was to be a sniper at that time, and the sort of the zen of sniping, if you like. And you can always, assume that you're close to understanding where these people would have been at, but really the biggest wake-up call was getting there and learning not to feel your toes and your hands every day, and just the intensity of that kind of cold and filth. I mean, this sounds odd, but if you shoot for 4 months on uneven surface, it's exhausting. It's really odd. You get used to standing, flat, smooth surfaces are far more comfortable, believe me. Standing around on a smooth, flat surface is a lot easier than standing around on rubble and bricks. But equally, it was a really important part of the story. It was almost like a character in the story in a way, because indeed, if the environment had been slightly easier, who knows what the outcome of the war would have been. But it was because of the intense cold and also the almost kind of guerrilla style demands on all the soldiers that lent towards the Russians winning the battle in the end. And you also felt like you couldn't complain because there weren't real bullets, there weren't real bombs, and it was only -10 degrees instead of -40, which is what it would have been in Stalingrad. I always envisioned König as the wolf that Vasily as a young boy could never shoot. And so it was like the character that you're running away from as a little boy or a little girl, the demon that you have to one day face. And that wasn't that he had to face it because it wasn't that he didn't have the ability to shoot him or find him or better him. It was like, if you like, the hidden fear of his own mortality. What was great though was that, I mean, whilst Ed and I met and obviously worked together on a couple of those scenes, we weren't around each other very much at all during the film. A lot of his stuff was done when I had the odd day off, and so that intensity was built purely through the kind of drama of the situation, the drama of the action of the movie, and that's in Jean-Jacques' hands, not in mine. The Russia at that time was under a heavy regime that wanted everyone to believe that no one were better than anyone else, that they were all part of Mother Russia, and that was it. There were no heroes. He was, if you like, used in that way as a pawn because they needed to find a hero, and some would say they manipulated it so that he became more of a hero. So he wasn't only having to deal with the pressure of having to perform and succeed and seemingly symbolically win this war by killing this man. he was also having to deal with this kind of strange struggle that went against his nature, which was that he had been told all his life he was a simple shepherd from the Urals, you know, and you know the charges for claiming to be anything more than that at that time was death. So it emotionally and psychologically, it's a hell of a journey for him, really. It's also just a personal journey, which is that he has to, as I said before, believe that he can confront his demon, really, and conquer it. Well, you're kind of washed along in his tidal wave of energy and desire to work and enthusiasm for the given subject. I mean, you couldn't really ask for more, really, from a director. He's really hands-on. He was there up to his knees in mud, lying around with us in the rubble and the glass, in the cold, and enjoyed it because he knew that, you know, we were going to get something really special from it and make something special. And when you work with someone like that, it makes the work much easier. You feel like you're really involved with someone who cares. He was also really good at giving us enough homework and detailed kind of background before we worked that by the time we got to set, he was very freeing. He would let us sort of bring the scene alive and discover it as we chose. It wasn't pernickety, you know.